The National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, ruled that the Kenya Kwanza has the majority number of MPs in the House. According to the Speaker, after the 2022 post-election agreements were entered into, Kenya Kwanza pushed its membership to 179 MPs against Azimio la Umoja's 157. Before that, Speaker Wetangula observed that the Azimio la Umoja had 171 MPs against Kenya Kwanza's 165 MPs. Consequently, Wetangula announced that Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah will be the majority leader, while Opiyo Wandayi of Unguja Sub-County will be the leader of the minority.
Of UDM, PAR, MCCP, and MDG. That in my considered opinion, it would be imprudent to treat the 14 members elected to the House under the UDM, Pamoja African Alliance, Maendeleo Chap-Chap, and the Movement for Democracy and Growth, MDG, as part of a coalition that they have expressly distanced themselves from and their parties. I'm therefore persuaded that the 14 members and their parties are part of the Kenya Kwanza coalition. This, in my view, would be fair and in accordance with the previous rulings by my predecessors on related matters. 3, that with the 14 members, the membership of the Kenya Kwanza coalition stands at 179 members, while the membership of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party stands at 157 members. This, by implication, indicates that the Kenya Kwanza coalition is the majority party, and the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party is the minority party in this House. 4, that the Kenya Kwanza coalition is entitled to appoint the leader of the majority party, while the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party is entitled to appoint the leader of the minority party.
At the same time, Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, was forced to adjourn the sitting prematurely after Azimio la Umoja One Kenya lawmakers disrupted the proceedings following the declaration of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance as the majority in the House. Azimio MPs were seen milling around the maze trying to grab it, forcing the sergeant-at-arms to surround the maze as the Speaker tried to bring the House to order. The Speaker was forced to prematurely adjourn the sitting to Tuesday next week at 2:30 p.m.
Honorable members, honorable members, this House will stand adjourned until Tuesday. Order. The House will be adjourned until Tuesday, the 11th of October, 2022 at 2:30 p.m. Order.
Now, President William Ruto is in Ethiopia on his first tour of the region since taking office. On his arrival in Addis Ababa on Thursday, President Ruto met Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and also attended the national launch of Safaricom Ethiopia. President Ruto is also set to travel to Uganda and Tanzania. The agenda for the regional tour includes talks on business and political ties, according to a dispatch from State House. Moving on, the Council of Governors now wants the national government to disburse funds to the counties on or before Monday, the 10th of October, so as to ensure smooth delivery of services. COG Chairperson Anne Waiguru lamented that the National Treasury had failed to allocate over 51 billion shillings in the last 3 months, a matter that she explained had stalled projects and caused counties not to be able to perform their functions effectively. The council called on the Treasury to further ensure they disburse 29.6 billion shillings to counties on time. Our very own Grace Wangoi with more on the story.
Services in the counties have been crippled due to delayed disbursement of funds to counties going back 3 months. This is according to the Council of Governors, who claim that the National Treasury had failed to allocate over 51 billion shillings in the said months. Council of Governors Chair Anne Waiguru, while quoting the Constitution, noted that the Treasury was mandated by law to disburse funds to counties on the 15th day of every month without undue delay. She called upon the National Treasury Treasury to release all the outstanding disbursements to counties on or before Monday, 10th October 2022.
We wish to inform members of the public that the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act 2012 requires that the National Treasury to disburse to counties on the 15th day of every month without undue delay. However, as at today, the total outstanding arrears owed to counties stands at Kenya shillings 51,762,201,733.
With immediate needs like the drought, which has affected 23 counties so far, Governor said disbursement of funds will help counties carve out funds to assist in drought and disaster management. Other projects stalled by the delay are payment of salaries to county officials, purchase of medical supplies, and stalling of development projects. In regards to the Ebola disease, which is currently affecting neighboring country Uganda, chairperson of the COG Health Committee, Muthomi Njuki, said that a speedy disbursement of funds will help counties to put in place measures to control the spread of the deadly disease. He expressed concern that little preparation was being taken in light of how severe the COVID-19 pandemic was.
Currently, we've just heard that the county governments are not well resourced because we are 3 months behind in terms of schedule of disbursement. Then how do we expect counties to deal with this issue? And I am informed that the Ministry of Health has requested for some emergency funds from the National Treasury, which has not been disbursed as so far. I think something to the tune of 6.3 billion, which has not been disbursed. And if the ministry does not act fast, that is the Treasury, and we have a delay, then we don't know when this disease is going to strike or spike.
The Council of Governors at the same time expressed concern over the failure by the President William Ruto to name a devolution cabinet secretary. The governors noted that such a move worked to the disadvantage of the council that will affect policy and funding.
We do not have the devolution ministry, elaborate devolution ministry. We are yet to see how the national government or the government of the day is going to deal with the issue of devolution. Because of course you cannot ignore 47 county governments that are under one umbrella of Council of Governors and does not have any ministry for coordination. Because we do not have complete autonomy as county governments. We rely so much on national government still on several issues, especially those of policy formulation of anything that concerns all the counties. And therefore, we still need to be coordinated at the ministry.
The issue of delayed disbursement of funds has been recurring for years, a matter that President William Ruto has promised will come to an end during his tenure. Whether or not it will happen is only a matter of time. Thank you. Grace Wangoi for Hope TV News Watch.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that report. Now, Sirisia Member of Parliament John Waluke and his business partner Grace Wakungu will head back to prison after the High Court dismissed their appeal, saying they were properly convicted and that the years they were required to serve in jail are not excessive. Waluke and Wakungu were sentenced for 67 and 69 years respectively, but were granted the option of paying fines in excess of 1 billion shillings each after they were found guilty of fraudulently receiving money from the National Cereals and Produce Board for maize, which was never supplied. Now it's exactly 14 minutes past 9 in the PM. Time for a quick breather here on Hope TV News Watch. I'll be back with more news. See you after this short break.
When we started out as a station, we thought of you, our listener, and our viewer, how that we would bring hope to your life, and you chose and stuck with us. Then we realized that we needed strategic partnership that would help us keep the message of the gospel live 24/7 round the globe. And you chose to partner with us by advertising with us, or by giving through the Friends of Hope initiative, or simply by being an anonymous sponsor. This Customer Service Week, from the bottom of our hearts, we want to thank you, our esteemed listener and viewer, for believing in our product, the message of hope to the nations. Happy Customer Service Week from Hope FM and Hope TV. On Hope Junction, every Saturday, get to enjoy songs that cater to the young and young at heart. Let the beat keep your head nodding.
Right now, what you love is amazing. We just
That's every Saturday on Hope Junction. From 10 a.m.
Welcome back. You're watching Hope TV Newswatch. Now, a number of civil society organizations have on Thursday issued a hard stance on the lifting of the moratorium on GMOs. The organization now says the move by the cabinet's decision to lift the ban on the cultivation and importation of GMOs into the country is uncalled for. Now, this comes amidst a drought in the country that is affecting more than 23 counties. As Dolly Muriegi Mbuvi now tells us, concerns have been raised across the country on the safety of consumers as the organizations demand the reinstatement of the ban to protect millions of consumers.
The long-standing ban on genetically modified organisms, GMOs, in Kenya, which was lifted 2 days ago, has caused jitters in the country. The ban was put in place through a cabinet memo on 8 November 2012, following growing concerns over the safety of genetically modified food. For the last 10 years, there has been no need to import or allow open cultivation of genetically modified food, as the country has been able to do without the GMOs. The decision comes when more than 4.2 million Kenyans are facing severe hunger and high food prices due to the ongoing drought. A number of civil society organizations have not welcomed the move by the cabinet. The lack of public consultation from the members of the public has raised eyebrows, which they claim has denied Kenyans the right to choose what they want to eat.
This is why we are asking, because this decision was quickly rushed, and we did not see the consultation with Mama Mboga. We did not see the consultation with the Mutu wa kuuza kiosk. We have not seen the consultation with the border people. If any member of these groups has been consulted, then it's good that we are informed. What we are talking about when we talk about public participation, I'm not saying invite me and ask me as a Tamba. I'm saying we need to give every Kenyan a chance to decide on issues that affect their future, on issues that affect their health, on issues that affect how they feel.
Why are they rushing to lift the ban that has been in existence for 10 years? Do they have any reason why? Are there scientific proofs or studies that have been done so that they can base their argument on that?
However, Kenyans have continued to express different opinions following the revival of GMOs by the cabinet led by President William Ruto earlier this week.
In a few years to come, we'll not be dealing with issues of chakula kuales ama starvation for that matter. We'll be dealing with people dying cause of lifestyle diseases ama magonjwa zingine kama cancer, which we ought to be avoiding at this point. So it feels like it's an easy solution, but we're going to have a bigger problem in the future.
GMO iko sawa as much as scientists wamejaribu ku, you know, then today we need experts in these things, and kama wanaona it's good for human use, then why should they introduce it? Because that way we try to achieve to kuena food at the end of the day.
On Wednesday, the National Biosafety Authority said the country had already tested and qualified varieties of white maize for cultivation that will be resistant to pests, as other trials for crops like cassava and sorghum were currently ongoing. According to the organizations, the NBA board does not have representation from farmers, consumers, and civil society organizations.
Majority of the foods that are produced in Kenya, 80% of that is produced by smallholder farmers. And it is important to get the statistics right. They use about 75 to 90% of local indigenous seeds. So we do not have a seed problem. The problems we have are structural. The government needs to make sure that they provide water, they provide infrastructure, roads, so that we are able to move food from one region to another.
However, the organization demanded the ban be immediately reinstated and inclusive participatory process be instituted to look into long-term and sustainable solutions to issues affecting food security and agricultural productivity in the country.
The big question is why the rush? There was no public participation conducted on the GMO, which would have given Kenyans an opportunity to share their ideas. Dolly Mirigimbuvi for Hope TV, Nairobi.
Thank you so much, Dolly, for that report. Now, the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission has in a Gazette notice announced that it will hold by-elections for the member of County Assembly in Utawala, Mumias North, South Gema, Olol Masani and Kiomedana on the 8th of December, as well as that of the Bungoma Senate seat. IBC Chair Fletcher Bukati has asked all candidates who had been cleared to participate in this election prior to the August 9 polls to verify their details and documents with the respective returning officer on or before the nomination days. Now, Tana River leaders are crying foul after the county missed Tana River leaders are crying foul after the county missed out on relief food distribution that was flagged off by President William Ruto. MCAs from Tana North are exhorting the national and county government to roll out water tracking to save lives and animals from the ravaging drought.
Shida yetu ni ukame. Isitoshe kuna maskuli sasa imefungwa. Zile shule zimefungwa kwa sababu wazazi hawana fees ya kulipa. Mfano jana nilikuwa Mororo High. Shule imefungwa, watoto wote wamefukuzwa. Mzazi baba hayuko. Ameenda na ile mbuzi 5 ama 10 yako naye huko msituni kabisa amepotea naye. Mama hana la kusema. Vile dada yetu amesema kina mama na watoto wanahangaika kabisa vijijini. Isitoshe wafadhili ni wachache katika Tana River. Serikali yetu kupitia gavana yetu tunaomba tafadhali mambo ya maji na chakula iangaliwe haraka iwezekanavyo. Tuko tayari kusaidiana. Hatusemi gavana peke yake afanye. Ni serikali mbili tunasaidiana. Tushauriane. Na national government pia tunaambia tafadhali waangalie maslahi ya Tana River.
Unaweza pata mama anaenda kilomita zaidi ya 13. Anaenda tu kutafuta maji na saa nyingine unaenda unakuta hata hiyo maji ni foleni na unaweza kuta mtu anaweza shinda hapo hata atoke hapo kama saa 2 afike kwa nyumba karibu saa 7 za usiku. Kwa hivyo sisi tunaomba kama kina mama tafadhalini kupitia gavana wetu na hata serikali kuu tafadhali tunaomba muje mrescue hii watu kwa sababu akina mama wako na shida sana na isitoshe hali yao imedhoofika, njaa ndio hii. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali kuu na tunaomba gavana wetu na pia wafadhili pia tafadhalini msikie kilio chetu muweze kuja kusaidia akina mama hapa Tana River, especially Tana North. Ndio mahali iko na shida kubwa sana.
Kawaida kabla ya uchaguzi tulikuwa tushaka mashirika yale ya agriculture ya kilimo na mashirika yale ya mambo ya maji na tukatengeneza mpangilio wa kuweza kufanya kazi pamoja bila ya kupoteza resources. Kuna kwa wakati mwingine watu wawili wanafanya kazi moja. Sasa tukagawanya majukumu ili kila shirika iweze kufanya upande wake. Na hiyo program imekuwa inaendelea mpaka sasa. Kwa wakati ule mashirika mengine hayakuwa na pesa. Sisi tulikuwa na pesa under the disaster because we had already tulikuwa tushamaliza the emergency fund.
The process of recruiting 170 health workers to serve in the Nyeri Healthcare Department has started, with the Nyeri County Governor Mutai Kahiga noting that the county does not have the requisite number of personnel required to attend to the number of health cases they are currently attending to. According to the governor, the Nyeri County Public Service Board has already started the shortlisting process of candidates while the interviews will be done before the end of this month in a bid to improve service delivery in the county's healthcare system.
This project will run between March 2022 and January 2024. So it's a 2-year project, and the total cost of this project will be 112,695,621, most of which, approximately Kenya 70 million, will go towards construction and equipping of the maternity. The maternity will host a 35-bed capacity, antenatal and post-natal wards, maternity and child health clinic, laboratory, consultation rooms, specialized clinics, delivery room, a newborn unit, central sterile supply department, nurse stations, offices, kitchen, and laundry. This project will involve procurement of the requisite state-of-the-art modern medical equipment to supplement the infrastructure. This partnership is a major milestone towards achieving universal health coverage, which is a top priority for my government. And in this regard, and upon completion of this maternity unit, my government commits to providing the requisite staffing and medical supplies to guarantee optimal operationalization and uninterrupted service delivery. I call upon the project implementation committee, the contractor, like you have just said, to work hand in hand in delivering a modern maternity unit. We cannot afford not to do what we have promised to do.
Let's now cross borders. Now, 1 week after Hurricane Ian slammed into Florida, U.S. President Joe Biden has visited the devastated area to assess recovery and talk to families. Joe Biden surveyed the devastation of Hurricane ravaged Florida by air, promising to marshal the power of the federal government to help rebuild as he comforted local residents alongside Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. Welcome back. Now let's get down to business. The Ministry of Trade has called for continued intra-African trade expansion in the spirit of the Africa Free Continental Trade Area and as a way of cautioning the continent from trade disruptions in other parts of the world. Kenyan manufacturers have been called upon to take advantage of the existing trade agreements between Egypt and Kenya to facilitate the free movement of goods to the North African nation.
And the government of Kenya has formulated business-friendly policies to support the growth of the sector, and there is need for continued cooperation between the government and the private sector to realize the potential. And I appreciate the confidence the Egyptian investors have placed on Kenya, as demonstrated by the continued cooperation with private sector, for example, the chambers and KEPSA. Therefore, I encourage more Egyptian investors to consider investing in Kenya so as to tap into the regional EAC market with an estimated market size of 283.7 million people, and also increase intra-Africa trade through the COMESA and the Continental Free Trade Area markets.
The businesses present here today represent a vibrant element of the very rich tapestry of Egyptian enterprise. These sectors have contributed to economic growth and prosperity in Egypt. Our companies manufacturing building materials and their associated inputs have been instrumental in achieving the impressive urban development we have witnessed across Egypt, including the many new cities which have sprung up in record time over the past couple of years. The chemicals and fertilizers industry has also been a key piece of Egypt's industrial transformation and continues to pave the way for further success and the realization of the ambitious plan we have set for ourselves.
Kisumu County Government has announced a partnership deal with the UK investment group United Green in a bid to revolutionize food production and general agriculture in the Lake region. 30 billion shillings partnership deal will see the revival of cotton industry, dairy and fish production in the county.
This US dollars 250 million or 30 billion Kenyan shillings agriculture and food security investment program will no doubt revolutionize food production and general agriculture in the entire Lake region. As you know, Kisumu County belongs to the Lake region economic bloc, and whatever you do as a country, we also take into consideration our partners in the bloc. The resultant partnership will deliver agri-fintech services for rural communities, high productivity climate smart farming and state-of-the-art agro-industrial facilities, creating new market for farmers in the Lake Victoria Basin region over the next 5 years.
Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, first I would like to say how grateful we are and how excited we are about this project. We have indeed taken, I would say in record time, an important step today. It was just about 1 year since we had our first meeting and we're discussing this vision that yourself and also ourselves have. And now, less than a year later, we're already here signing a shareholder agreement, forming a joint venture company and getting started with the real work.
And now to some sporting action. The 2022 NCBA Golf Series resumes this weekend, with the scenic Mombasa Golf Club set to host the latest leg on Saturday. Preparations for the tournament are near complete, with over 150 golfers from the region expected to tee off at the historical golf course, also known as the Front Course.
We all weathered the cold morning, a few raindrops, but everyone was here teeing off as early as 6:30. I do understand I played very well. The conditions in the morning were a bit wet, but my four-ball team was excellent. I played with excellent guys, one guy from Safaricom, Sam Munywa, and another guy from East African Breweries. Kagigite, Joseph, and Dennis Curry, and lots of fun. Had lots of fun, lot of discussions, and the game just flowed. In fact, I think we were more bonding than playing, and I think that's what happened with the final outcomes. Yeah, I believe we have at the end of the series, we're going to gather all the top winners for the grand finale. I think this time it will be in Muthaiga. I think previous year it was in Karen, and again we should just look forward to just attending this year's grand finale. It will be fantastic, good prizes, good golf, and I think Muthaiga has always been known also as a very good competitive club and course, and we should look forward to some very good golf.
And with that, we come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV Newswatch. From the stellar crew that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a good night. Kennedy Kimani is my name, and at the bottom right of your screen has been the very able sign language interpreter, Boniface Moreithi.